and welcome to the HollyHood Zoomcast, episode 18. My name is Aji Mahanj, Asante Goodman.
Smallwood Worldwide, what up?
Man, good right here.
You Goodman.
And today we have a special guest. Introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Darian Robbins. Glad to be here, fellas.
All right, that's enough out of you. And now we're gonna get on to our review, movie review style, movie review. Today we had a selection from Greg, and he decided to go with Chris Rock, who, if I'm all honest, doesn't have a good string of movies, but he went with top 5 today as one of our reviews. And usually on the HollyHood Zoomcast, we always go with the person who hasn't seen this. Now, I think most of you guys could understand out there that I'm a little biased, considering what I just said about Chris Rock and his movies. But let me tell you something, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie so much. I really did enjoy this movie. First of all, you got Rosario Dawson in it, who is Rosario Dawson. I mean, let's just keep it what it is. So you had that. You had a ton of different comedians in it that were good, who all played their roles very well. J.B. Smoove was in it, kind of emceeing the whole film, which is fantastic. J.B. Smoove is just killing everything. Thought the story was good. I mean, they had Jerry Seinfeld in there throwing 20s in a strip club. It was dope. I mean, like I really did enjoy this movie a lot more than I had heard that it was a really good movie. Upon seeing this movie, including New Jack City, I would say that the only movie that I would vouch for that I saw Chris Rock in was Spiral, and that was recently came out, and most people probably thought that was trash. So I actually thought that it was pretty good. You know, I actually thought it was pretty good. But when I watched this movie, the story was fantastic. It's about a guy who's the Hammy the Bear thing was so funny.
It's hammer time.
It's hammer time. But the thing that actually I really enjoyed about, I think, the movie overall was that it gave you a really good glimpse of what it looks like to be famous like that. I would imagine you have to run from place to place. You're sitting there talking, having the same conversations over and over again, and then you're answering the questions and saying the same things over and over and over again, and people aren't really listening to you. They just kind of have you there. And there are some that are more interesting than others, but it's like the whole press run. And then when he finally made the movie debut, that joint was trash. So it was just really, it was funny. And that actually my favorite part on the whole movie, the part that I laughed at the hardest, was when they showed the movie and he was running out. He's like, ah, like that. Chris Rock's face when he's running out with the sword. That was actually the funniest part to me in the whole movie. Although there were several funny parts in it. I don't want to take everyone else's shine, but I was impressed by it. It was by far his best movie. It was obvious to me that kind of a running theme under it was, I guess, his conversation starter and his love relationship. You knew you had a good relationship with him if he gave you your top 5 as far as MCs, which, by the way, Jerry Seinfeld mentioned in Wale, complete upset. Anyway, so I was like, wow, what a musical. But it was something else. Yeah, but the movie was fantastic. I thought that, although I love Miss Dawson to the ends of the earth, I thought that her character was that was some grimy stuff that she did. However, I thought that the whole idea behind it was kind of like a Cinderella story. So that's my quick take on it as a person who hadn't seen it before. I was pleasantly surprised and pretty impressed. So there you go. We'll go Greg next. Greg, go ahead since you selected the movie.
Hey man, I mean, like I said, Chris Rock usually dwells in nothing but buffoonery. I happen to enjoy his work. You know what I'm saying? Because CB4, come on, man, who don't like CB4?
Yo.
Pretty funny. You know what I'm saying? Who do you think?
Turn around and eat your big ass biscuit.
Exactly. Come on, the debut of Charlie Murphy, Chris put him on. You know what I'm saying? As Gusto. But oh yeah, and of course Pootie Tang. Like, come on, man. Who don't like Pootie Tang?
But that was we all know that was a John Bibbs film. That was not a Chris Rock.
That was definitely a jump of his. It's like that man's life.
Yo, shout out to John Bibbs, man. Shout out to John Bibbs, man.
Hell of a singer.
Yeah.
That dude's a beast. I like John.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what was my what was I getting? Oh, yeah, but this one had, I don't even know what category exactly to put it in. I guess you could say it's a rom-com, which is something I typically don't like, but this was actually like real life funny. Like it had some hilarious parts in it. Like my favorite part of this movie, well, the funniest part to me of the movie, when he was talking about the reviews that she gave, or that her alias gave, and he was like, I hate, what's his name? Whatever Allen, I wouldn't watch his movies if it was playing in my glasses. That right there is one of the funniest things I have ever heard in a movie in my life. I was crying laughing at that. I mean, that, and it touched on like a whole lot of different things about how he interacts with certain people. Like Audrey was saying, you know, you're close with him when he gives you your top five, and all those other things like that. And I like the way that they did Gabrielle Union's character when she broke down and was like, I have no talent. This is it.
That was dope. That was dope.
Honest, the real things that I've ever heard from anyone who's in one of those positions. And she was 100% right in that case. She's got nothing but her face. And you know, hoping some wealthy guy takes care of her. Like that's pretty much the end of her life once that reality.
You got to choose me.
I could have had anyone.
She was mentioning white dudes. So I'm trying to holler at her.
Yeah.
Wow.
She had a choice.
White dudes, baseball players, anybody
Like,
with
the only
money.
thing I can assume is Pete Davidson and Derek Jeter didn't pick her after they stroked her out. That's the one thing I can.
Move on, yo. Move on, yo. Move on, yo. Move on.
And you talk about world-class Hollywood stickmen. Oh, amazing, fellas. Good work out there. Not to mention Craig. Well done. But anyway, back to the movie. I thought
We'd like to thank everybody for watching HollyHood today. We really appreciate everyone tuning in. You know, like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Oh, go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I thought Chris Rock did a really solid job on the drama part and the comedy part of his whole routine. I mean, not routine. Jesus, you talk like he's doing a stand-up of his whole the whole role of the movie. And plus, I mean, come on, man. Any movie where Jerry Seinfeld is making it rain, there's got to be.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, that just ups it a notch. That is so far out of the character of what you know him as. It's amazing the way they did that.
If I can throw in something else, Adam Sandler also did not annoy me in this movie, which is
he did a great job. Yeah, Adam Sandler has not been annoying since The Waterboy. So, I forgot about the joint he did with Kevin Garnett was dope too. I'm not gonna front on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Uncut Gems. Yeah.
Yeah, he needed that to balance out that little Nicky Bulls shit. Anyway, so let's keep going.
Let's not besmirch Little Nicky. If you watch it in the right state of mind, it is hilarious.
That is on the slander list. But continue. I'm sorry.
And plus, everybody on there, all the comedians and everybody else who had cameos or small roles, excellent job. Every last one of them.
Yo, Weebay was on there. Is Weebay a comedian?
No, but
That's a good question.
no, he's not a comedian. He's like, this is the first time I've seen him in a movie without a gun. So well done, Weebay. I like he showed his versatility. And even the part with DMX in the jail cell was pretty funny.
That was
it didn't make any sense.
That's the funniest part.
I mean, it made sense that DMX was in jail. It didn't make sense that he was trying to sing. So.
It was like it was. You know what's so funny about it? I was like, when he started singing, I was like, you know, DMX has a great voice, and I was like, a great rap voice.
You caught yourself for like 2 seconds, like.
It's like I can listen to it. Like he's bad. He's a bad singer, but I can listen to him sing. Like I wouldn't ask him to sing at nobody's wedding. Oh, I wouldn't ask him to be like.
Hey man, don't box him in like you couldn't box him in like that. Come on now.
I gotta express myself, nigga.
Yo. All right, yo, okay. Let's go. Greg, I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to push you off, but I'm gonna go this one.
Yeah, move on to the next one.
TJ, you said that actually the DMX part was your favorite part. Well, give your review of the movie. Go on.
Yeah, that was the funniest part to me. Well, between that and Jerry making it rain $100 bills, that kind of took me off guard too.
Oh, and when he said he lost, I'm sorry. And when he said he lost his wallet, and she was like, "I don't have any clothes on. Where did I put it?" He was like, "Do I gotta say it?" I was like, "Barry out here wilding." But go ahead, TJ.
That was hilarious.
Jerry Sabo was out of control on that joint.
He was. Yeah,
I don't know how this got in my pocket.
You guys said so far. So sorry, what were we saying? Okay. No, I agree with everything y'all said. I think it was a well-written movie. I enjoyed it. It was funny. It was fun. And I liked that it addressed, kind of the darker side of comedy. Like a lot of comedians, it seems like, their upbringing or things that they struggle with is kind of the source of their comedy. It usually seems to come from like dark places. And this movie kind of addressed that, right? You don't really see very many movies where they show, I guess, the grimier parts of being famous, like you said, Aj, and the some of the horrible places that comedy comes from. He actually was afraid that he wasn't funny anymore because every time he used to get up there and do it, he was either inebriated or he was high or he was basically out of his mind. He was scared that he wasn't going to be entertaining anymore because he didn't have this, what he classified as his edge, right? And that Hammond the Bear shtick was hilarious. Out there machine gunning people in a bear suit, it was ridiculous. I'll say
go ahead.
The Rosario Dawson thing that you brought up, that she was kind of scumbaggy. That was I was actually, it took me a second to put it together. I don't know why. When he was looking at her phone, as soon as he started hovering his thumb over other areas, it's like, don't do it, man.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Don't do it. He looked at the pictures and then he went over and he saw that message come in. And when I saw the name, I was like, that's weird. And then it was like, oh, right, of course. Yeah, so that's her ghost name, because she had kind of alluded to, she uses ghost names for what'd she say, her frilly pieces, and then she's got ghosts for other stuff.
And real quick, TJ, and I thought that was some great like setup, that work that they did in the beginning. Even him mentioning that person in particular and the fact that she used ghost names, I thought that was really well done.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think Chris Rock wrote the movie. You can actually see his brilliance in comedy, the way he's able to kind of stitch and string things together, so that when you see something later, you're like, oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, okay, I saw the foreshadowing for that. So I thought it was a very well done project myself. I enjoyed it. It was funny. Like in some spots, it was unexpectedly funny. Like the DMX thing, I did not expect it at all. Look across the cell and there's DMX. Like, what are you doing here? He's like, what do you mean I live here? What you talking about? And then he starts singing whatever that sensitive smile stuff was or whatever. It just it caught me off guard. It tickled me. But I thought it was a good redemption type story. That he found his way back on stage too. Got his mojo back. So I did enjoy it. It's been a while since I've seen it. I had to refresh too. But I think I actually enjoyed it more this time than I did the first time.
Yeah, I could definitely see where that would be the case. Antwon, you're the greatest at breaking down movies. We all know this. I mean, we've described the movie some, but I leave the real review to you. Antwon, give us your spiel.
Listen, this movie's fucking incredible. That's the best way to categorize it, right? I watched it again to get back.
Family show, you can't start that way.
It is. Well, Family got to hear this one. Listen, speaking of it, right? So one of the greatest aspects of this movie is you can't box it in. I think I heard Greg talking about it. You don't know if it's a rom-com or this. I think that's what they wanted for it, right? So all the comedic layers, the serious layers about him battling alcoholism and not being able to be funny without doing something, being inebriated. The trick shot of also the reporter, who's also doubling and lying, also having a similar issue. I mean, listen, it touched on so many topics. The being famous part with Gabrielle Union, aka Erica, reality show. She's like, I chose you and I sucked you off for both of us. And he's like, do you hear yourself? Like, what? It's like crazy stuff. But for her, it was her reality. And so you kind of pivot from the comedy for a minute to be like, oh shit, this is real for this person, you know? I thought the characterizations were well done. I loved a lot of the scene. Pretty much almost every scene I thought they killed. So my favorite is when he goes back home and the one guy that's like, he gives money to, he's like, oh yeah, that's my father. And then he goes in the house with the fam and, you know, I'm still like, wait, that was his father? Like, oh shit. He's talking to him just like the dude
and he called him HollyHood. He didn't even call him like his son or nothing. It's crazy.
That's what blows your mind. He goes in a house and you get a glimpse of, oh yeah, famous or not, you know, these people still have families, you know what I'm saying? And so you get a chance to see everybody there chilling, kicking it, talking shit, talking about him, and they all taking in stride. It was all in love, and, you know, talking about kind of how he came to be, and who's the chick replacing Wendy Williams right now? And they're talking about, you know, she had regrets, she wouldn't let him play PlayStation. Just so many little granular things that kind of...
Yeah, the PlayStation line was classic. The PlayStation line was so classic.
You know, it's crazy. And it also brings me back to one of the things that, you know, we laugh about all the time is people having a top 5. And then somebody, I don't know if it was you, Aj, or TJ, somebody mentioned how if he rocks with you, he asks you what your top 5 is. And I love that. What I love more was JB Smoove, because JB Smoove, no matter the chaos, he's navigated them. His eyes was never off the prize. Even at the very end of the movie, what's in that bag? It's almost like he orchestrated it, you know what I'm saying? And he was a great like composer, just kind of handling the orchestra. And I was just like, wow. When you go back and watch it, as many times as I've seen it, you can enjoy that flick that much more. And I also think that Chris Rock, when he finally got on stage, he was really scared. And I bought into that aspect of it, especially after the disappointment of his movie, the irony of his movie, and trying to get away from the Hammy time with the Tyler Perry being scared as Medea in a haunted house, having all the lines and all the ticket sales. He's like, oh, who is this? And they tell him, and he's like, fuck, that's not my movie. And it's like, it's just so many things that you see the success, the failure, him wanting to actually succeed. The white guy at the radio stick where they think black people, oh, you know, give it a little stank. And he's like, you know, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And seeing him trying to demonstrate it, and Chris Rock's like, all right, fuck it. And he gives him a little something. He's like, I think your first take had more magic in it. Like, what? You can't please everybody. And
did you notice the white lady that was beside him when he was trying to do it? She was like, yeah, that's the one. That's I was like, I was sitting there like, no. My only critique on that whole scene was I was hoping that they would do it the way it sounded in the radio, where they were bleeping out when he was saying stuff. I thought that would have been funny, but that's just me. So.
Facts. I mean, I loved every aspect of this movie. I know we got to keep it moving. So, I mean, I just think the scenes were brilliant. Cedric the Entertainer with the stripper routine, I think that was off the charts and hilarious. You know, the setup, classic, he's in and he's out. Hey, he said he's going to give us some more money. We about to run it up on him. He's like, what? Just listen, top 5 for me. It's a great movie. So
he should have known there was a problem when he asked about the hangers.
I agree. I thought that was weird too.
They got him locked up. They got him locked up, pimp.
They know your boy.
And now classic.
Yo, now we're gonna go to Darian. After you see how it's done, we're gonna come to you quicker the next time. But go ahead, Darian. What was your review for the top 5?
Oh man, so I had to rewatch the film. I seen it before, a couple years back. And like TJ, I would say the rewatch, I definitely enjoyed it more this time on the rewatch than I did the first time. And the first time I thought it was good. I mean, and then listening, to what the responses you guys give it, I honestly have to say this is probably Chris Rock's best effort in terms of film.
Easily his best.
In terms of acting, definitely in terms of writing. You know what I'm saying? So many layers to this film. Like some of the stuff you guys hit on about, and honestly thinking about it, I probably had to find out, maybe he might, and I say this, I actually think this is a lot of those events are probably based on true stuff that probably happened to him, people that are close to him. No, straight up. I mean, like in terms of, you just kind of compiled it all together. But I'd be willing to say he probably either something either happened to him as a celebrity, you know what I'm saying, I know that serious radio joint portion was probably definitely a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, man, what's be a lot more funny? You know what I'm saying? And he gave him some outlandish where they were like, yeah, we can't. Okay, we're sorry we asked you. You give us what you want us to give us. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it touches on so many things. Again, I also agree with that the portion, and then looking back with DMX passing, to see him pop up at the end, that was a great, you know what I'm saying? It gave me a great feeling to see him on screen, but also it lends to the fact that just like what Chris Rock and his character was trying to do in his film is that these creative guys, they have a lot of talent. You know what I'm saying? And part of it is that they want to be able to find avenues to express them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But sometimes the industry itself will not give opportunity to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so when they come up with these projects, these passion projects, like for example, and then just overall, let's just take a brief pause and talk about the fact that the movie that he made was about the Haitian Revolution, right? It's something that's always been, I think, in terms of nothing to belie the seriousness of the historical event. I think anybody, black person who probably went to Hollywood and said, I want to make a movie about the Haitian Revolution, was probably shot down and said, you're never going to see that on screen. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that, really. I mean, and just the fact that, what was that movie that came out a couple years about Nat Turner's Rebellion?
Birth of a Nation.
Out, you know what I'm saying?
You saw what happened there.
Birth of a Nation was what I was thinking about the entire time that the uprise joint happened, and he was
right. So, there's certain things, and from a conspiratorial aspect, we're probably not going to see on screen, you know what I'm saying? Because once you start turning the tables in terms of like something this historical event where there's a lot of bloodshed on white people, it now takes a different context than seeing black trauma on screen, right? in that aspect.
You saw what the reporter said to him, right? The reporter was like, "Oh, what do you say to people who are upset by so many white people getting killed?" He's like, "Listen, I'm fake killing white people." Like,
right. I mean, that was a whole layer to this that that kind of wrapped up. I mean, I was, like I said, it's just impressive on how many layers of stuff he was able to throw into this movie to get it done. I mean, hilarious. And then also too, man, this movie's a flex, man. Golly, look at all the folks that he had in here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In terms of comedy is concerned. I mean, like you mentioned DMX. I mean, and that move, I want to know what the budget was. You know what I'm saying? Be quite honest with you, because there's no way he could have pulled this. If everybody was on the, if he didn't know everybody, or I want to say, I'm sure everybody got paid in some aspect. But let's say he did this just say, hey, I need you to do this as a favor. You know what I'm saying? Man, look at that star power that he was able to corral in here, man. And everybody who got their partner, they knocked it out of the park. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's why, like I said, looking back, I was just like, man, this is a pretty amazing movie that kind of got put together. And then, lastly, in terms of his filmmaking aspect, I guess, people like to talk about like Woody Allen, like a Woody Allen movie, right? Where it's, a lot of his films are shot in New York. You know what I'm saying? They feature a lot of talk, couples or people talking in that aspect about a variety of subjects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Not to they focus a lot on the dialogue.
The dialogue, right? You know what I'm saying? This is probably not. So let me also give a caveat. I do not support Woody Allen whatsoever. I'm talking about purely from a film aspect. Okay. That I think this is probably an attempt at that realm of focusing on the dialogue and the interaction, also using the city as a backdrop, you know what I'm saying, to enhance certain aspects of scenes and that kind of stuff, and also bring it down to earth, you know what I'm saying, make it feel like once you walk, if you go to New York City, oh yeah, I'm standing in this spot, I know what that spot is, I know that, it gives a more of a home feel to it, you know what I'm saying, in that aspect. So yes, I don't want to compare Chris Rock to Woody Allen, but in terms of personal life is concerned. But I'm telling you, as much as he is, I guess, celebrated for his film, the types of films that he does, it seems like that I would say this kind of emulates that aspect of filmmaking. And it looks like he's trying to show Chris trying to show an advancement of his writing and his film ability. And I'm actually kind of interested to see where he goes, where else he goes from here. I know he got Spiral. I think I saw parts of it. I'm not a big horror guy, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that he even took that on probably shows a little bit more that he's advancing in this aspect, looking to try, just like his character in the movie, try new things where he's not, normally seen.
I heard that he was great in Fargo. I heard he was like really good in Fargo.
He was great in Fargo.
Okay. Yeah, no, and I believe that. He definitely has.
And check out some of his indie joints too, like 2 Days in New York. I mean, he has a lot of little small.
I saw that. Yeah. That was a very good film. And so he's stretching his creative arms and legs. You know what I'm saying? Much unlike what Hammy and what was the name of the Haitian slave in there?
Uprise.
Yo, I'm telling you, when you go back and watch the movie, focus on him running like, that joy had me.
Well, what wouldn't be a Chris Rock film without some sort of contorted face action in there? You know what I'm saying? That's classic Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as much as he has
it is a Chris Rock staple. That is a Chris Rock staple.
As much as he, and that's the thing about comedy, that why you look at him as almost like a master of it. And that's another thing too. He mentioned there was a mention about Charlie Chaplin. You know what I'm saying? Right. A lot of different levels of comedy. You got the dialogue. You got also the physical portion of it as well. You know what I'm saying? These people and everybody that you saw in there, they study comedy like it's like they're studying like for a PhD in any other subject. You know what I'm saying? Because they know there's aspects to it. There's aspects to stand up. There's aspects to doing it on film. There's aspects of the physical. There's the mental. You know what I'm saying? That they, the people that you see in there, at some level had to embrace, study from the people that came before them, and then try to build on their own with it. You know what I'm saying? In their own way.
It's almost like exercising a muscle like a boxer. Like
absolutely.
How boxers, watch film, they do the same thing with comedians.
I think that my favorite part of the whole movie was Jay Farrell's role when he didn't say anything.
Oh, but that also brings me to so this is one of the things I love about these movies too. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at that one scene, like you said, when you went back home, look at that cast. I mean, that's pretty much a good majority of the black cast of SNL. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I see that one. So one of the things I always wonder is like, man, what if you could get all those folks together? You know what I'm saying? To actually do a film. You know what I'm saying? Because like every black character or cast member, in my opinion, except for maybe like Chris Rock or Eddie Murphy, are very underutilized when it comes to SNL.
Right.
It's always, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not in living color. You know what I'm saying? It's not a place where, they give, people of color or black folks, a portion to shine unless they, like Eddie Murphy, just your light is so bright. You know what I'm saying? Your talent is so great. They have no choice. You know what I'm saying? Because they just fill up everything in the room. But you look at that. I look at that scene in there, and you look at. I mean, each one of those folks in there, aside from Jay Farrell, have are still making their name out there now. You know what I'm saying? In certain ways, and I think are very funny. I think you and I were talking about this, like Leslie Jones. Like this film actually made me a more of a fan of hers. You know what I'm saying?
You did a good job. Yeah.
Big Les dog, she killed it.
Absolutely. So
she's really good on stand-up too. She's funny.
Yeah. And so giving people opportunities like this to actually flex and show their comedy aspect. And of course, what's his face is Tracy Morgan's always a fool. You know what I'm saying?
And I thought this was an underrated aspect of the film too, was the fact that it reminded me of like a Harlem Nights back when Eddie Murphy got everybody in it.
Yeah.
Yo, it's like a new Harlem. That's exactly what I was like. Yo, this is like a new Harlem Nights, the way he brought everybody back up.
And what I loved how they tied this shit in. No, big facts. I just want to say this point for me is that the Comedy Cellar, that was so New York, right? Like living here, you can go there any night of the week, and big comedians go there, and they have to kind of bring their A game because younger comedians on the rise or people who've been sharpening their skills, they're funny and they're making a killing, and you can't go up there and half-ass that shit. So I love the when he got on stage and he was a little bit afraid, and then it kind of drove him a bit and got him out of his shell.
What did he say?
All of that tied into.
What did he say, Antwon? He was like, lower your expectations.
Lower your expectations, right? Because imagine you got a movie that came out that's bombing. These other comedians just all killed. You're the biggest name in there, and then you go in there and you stink up the joint.
And you just got arrested.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Hey, and here's another aspect that Darian had touched on earlier that I got to give all the props to. The dialogue in this movie it felt
good,
ridiculously authentic. Like, I don't know, like the parts with all the comedians, I don't know if they had like an outline that they were supposed to do and they just kind of let them freestyle and say whatever. I don't know if it was all written, but even the conversations between him and Rosario Dawson, all sound extremely just very authentic. It sounds like real life, I'm talking about nothing conversations. You know
well, hey, we could talk about this a lot, I'm pretty sure, but we're gonna try to get through this. Let's go with best character. TJ, who was the best character?
Best character? I'm kind of torn between Chris Rock's character and his boy JB Smooth's character.
Yeah.
He was such a, I love back me up dudes, man. He was such a back me up guy. You know, he had his back for everything, and he was always so positive about stuff. You know.
Yeah.
He was always trying to gas him up and trying to keep him going. I think I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with him.
Damn, that's a good pick, man. That's
and he's a fan of big girls. And
that's the part that I love.
I do love that too.
She was small for me, but you know.
When Precious was like, "Yo, we've been through this before," I was like, "Yo, that joint is crazy." That joint is crazy.
And I like the fact that
he was in Gabby's City.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead, Antwon. Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just talking.
I was just saying that, you know, he's been down since day one. You know, it wasn't like he they go back a long ways to, it sounds like even before he was famous, really.
Yeah, they're back to elementary school.
Yeah.
Back, they was down since PS whatever school he went to in New York.
And
all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, I was just gonna do my normal. All right, tough guy, since you're talking, go ahead and give your best character.
No, I'm done.
Go ahead, guy. Go ahead, guy. Pal.
Talk to me.
He's talking to you.
I'm talking to you, buddy. The buddy pal. I give him the buddy and the pal and the guy.
I mean, it's obvious to pick the main character, but as far as who I'm gonna say he's not my favorite character, but my favorite character is gonna be Chris Rock in that movie. He did a great job. I'll say the most overlooked character in that movie that did an amazing job to me was Kevin Hart. He did a great job. He did a great job as the agent.
Stole the scene.
It was hilarious.
Yep.
Stole the scene.
Yeah, he completely stole the scene. This was Kevin Hart before he was like Kevin Hart. Like, this is him still on the way up. He did a great job as the agent.
That star power, man. You bring all that star power together, man.
He said, you know, when the janitor ran by, he said, "What's going on?" He was like, "Zoolanders." Zoolander. You know, he didn't even say this. That was hilarious. Zoolanders in the comments.
Yeah, I thought Kevin Hart's performance is one that was probably the most overlooked, but I think he did a spectacular job in the short amount of time that he had. And plus, like I said, he was another dude that was like a real life back me up kind of dude, because if dude don't make money, he don't make money. So he was calling out all the bad ideas and everything else. So yeah, I enjoyed the small part of the movie that he had. I thought he did a great job.
He did. That's a good pick. That's a good pick as well. Darian, who's the best character?
Oh, let's see. For me, it definitely. I mean, I still have to sit with Chris Rock, man. I mean, I think it was, you know, his vehicle. Oh, forgive me. We were talking about Weebay, huh? Speaking of The Wire, so sirens going on in the back. I am near Baltimore.
Shout out to Baltimore, Gritty Way. You know what I'm saying? Gritty Way. You know what we're talking about. Shout out to Jason.
No, I definitely think Chris Rock. You know, he definitely stepped up his game in this aspect. And so yeah, he's the character, man. I mean, he wrote this vehicle for him, and I think he's the one to shine in it. But I mean, all the characters that he had around him, he gave them when the spotlight was on them, they knocked it out of the park to make the whole thing enjoyable to watch for me.
Antwon, who's the best character?
Oh man, there's a lot that I would pick from, but I can't overlook Andre Allen's security, JB Smooth. Listen, like I said, he was conducting the madness. He made sure he stayed focused. TJ brought up the excellent point. He was always positive. I like that, uplifting, and making sure to give Chris Rock, no matter how big or who he was around, he gave him space to, be himself without letting things get overwhelming for him. So, that showcased to me that they knew each other incredibly well. There was a lot of trust there. And even at the point where he wanted to kind of walk off in the city by himself with Rosario Dawson, he was like, up to the last minute, like, are you sure? You got an interview in 20 minutes. You got to do this. He's still trying to make sure he stays on track and stay focused. I mean, for me, hands down the best character. And I'm not mad at anybody's picks. But yeah, for me, got to love that.
Of course, it's DMX for me. I'm just playing. No, I would say JB Smooth, but everyone's picks JB Smooth. So my 1B actually was, and I got to shout out Darian for this because we were talking about this before. It is Leslie Jones. I think that Leslie Jones. She was very good in the movie. There was a lot of people who stole scenes. We're not even going to talk about Cedric the Entertainer, but
motherfucking man.
Yeah, talk about my stunt double like that.
Yeah. we gonna treat Cedric like Bruno. We're not gonna talk about Cedric. We're gonna treat him like Bruno out here. Yeah, man. He Leslie Jones. She was stayed checking Tracy Morgan, stayed checking a couple of different people. Another thing that I thought was really funny on the movie is something that you see in real life, but you never you see it and you would never think people would really do that, but you've actually seen people do it. Is like when they interview people around the famous person, they're always like, well, I'm funnier than he is. I mean, I was like, yo, that is, man, they hit this joint out the park, man. It was so
I'm just like conversational funny.
Yeah, I'm conversational.
right. That was hilarious.
Now I was always
is your mama crying? No, it was
All right, now to maybe my favorite category, the worst character. As the player hater of the year, Greg, I'll allow you to go first.
Ooh. The absolute worst character? Wait a minute, as far as their acting job or the character that I like the least?
The character you like the least. You know what, I'll go first. It's Rosario Dawson's boyfriend. That's mine, man. That's what I was gonna say. I'll just leave it there.
Well, yeah. I'm in agreement. That dude was the worst. In every way.
So, when she came out that bathroom, she said, I just saw a man with his ass up. I was like, yo, that's so disappointing. That must have been so disappointing for her. She was just like, I can't.
And you saw her face too. She was like,
just so disappointing. But okay, great. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry, I had to get that one out of my chest.
But I was gonna go with the same person, either him or his boy.
Yeah, his boy was bad. His boy rocking his shirt, man. It's like, what?
They were both horrible. They were, as far as like scumbagness goes, they're first and she's a close second.
Yeah, she's close.
But yeah, that whole, I mean, in all honesty, this is her fault. Like, she should have got out of there immediately. Like there was.
All right, you know what? Yeah, man, we're gonna go to another person, man.
There were too many signs.
I'm just gonna Darian, man, who's the worst character? I didn't want to get into it, Greg. I'm sorry.
The worst character. I mean, in terms of character, I'll say for most of the movies, maybe towards the end, it was probably Rosario Dawson's character.
Yeah.
She, part of his anxiety with reviewers was coming from the person she was portraying in the reviews. You know what I'm saying? And there was not it was not a honesty. She wasn't coming in with an honest heart initially. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, that was a part for me. It was just like, obviously once as this unravels and you figure the twist out in terms of who she is in relation to Alan's character or his nemesis, or you think is kind of his critical nemesis. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, okay, what he's got to, he felt at some point had to feel really, really betrayed because like, what is your angle here? What are you trying to do? And so I felt that just in terms of character I liked the least was just the way she conducted herself in that aspect. But but also at the same time, throughout this, like she gives a full character and the reason why she's going through this. You know what I'm saying? She actually she's someone who actually in the end cares for him and is a fan. You know what I'm saying? But but the way I think she's trying to get him to get back to that person that she kind of falls in love with or likes, it was really shady. You know what I'm saying?
My man, Coach. No, I said, "Oh man, Coach, I'm with you."
Yeah, they had a real life Skip Bayless, LeBron James type relationship. Oh wow! Really, it was outrageous the way she was dogging.
Yeah, but I'm sure her alias was probably like Skip Bayless, wrong about every damn thing. Okay?
Probably more than likely.
TJ, who's the worst character, man?
Now, Cedric the Entertainer deserves a little bit of burn. Bring him up. I don't think he's the worst, but I'm gonna bring him up because he needs to be mentioned.
You know what? You might, now that I think about it.
It's pretty bad, yo. And
you might be right.
He didn't do nothing good. That mug came in the room stripping. Oh, what's going on up in here? Anyway, I'm leaving him. I got to agree.
Promises.
Yeah. He stuck him with $1,000 hooker tab, man.
Yo, and he told him that while he was walking his daughter to school.
Sure did.
And then, homie skeeted on the sheets like skeeted on the sheets and rolled out. I
might be talking myself into him, man. He's the closest.
I didn't understand why he slept in the bed after that.
Right, he's curled up and I was like,
he was curled up around.
That was so. Oh man, yeah.
Oh, go ahead, TJ. Go ahead, man.
That was disturbing. It was disturbing.
He had feathers in his hair.
He did, man. He looked pathetic. I'm on the same page as Darian, man. Like, that could have gone completely sideways. It didn't have to end the way that it did. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, what was your plan? Okay, so you want to try to build trust with this man and then completely blow that trust away by telling him that you're this other person. I mean, she's constantly telling him, I'll be fair to you. I'll be fair to you. I just need something honest. And she hasn't been honest with him at all, right? So then they almost get it on in the bathroom. And I'm thinking to myself at that point, well, all right, well, when was she going to tell him? Was it going to be pillow talk or something? That's going to make things even worse. Right? I mean, what was your, I just really, really didn't like the way that she went about her business, right? And then, when you get like little things from her past throughout the movie, you see that she wasn't really of high character in the past either. And I guess that led to all her substance abuse and nefarious activities. Activities for the, I guess, testing out of every race, I think she said, or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just really, she was on the path to redemption, and maybe this was part of her, trying to get back to some point in her life where she feels good about herself and where she's heading and all that. But I think she could have done it in a way that was more consistent with what her end goal was. So I had to give her the worst character because it was just a bad plan. It was really, it went well in the end, but she just got lucky. She got lucky. I think it could have gone way sideways.
I think she caught him at the right time for sure. And she looks like Rosario Dawson. Antwon. that
There is that.
erased a lot. Yeah, that erased a lot.
He could pull that off if she looked like Patricia up the street. Like, Patricia doesn't get that grace. It's already okay.
Maggie Gyllenhaal doesn't get that grace. No.
Oh no, not Maggie. Yo, I'm not even gonna. She's not on the no slander list. So she's free game. She's not on the no slander list. She's free game.
Damn right. No. So my favorite worst character in this whole movie is a pair. Actually, is Romany Malcolm. I'm botching his name. The agent for Erica for Gabrielle Union. Okay. Yeah. Romany Malco. Goddamn, I was fucking his name up. So yeah, him. Why? Because whereas JB Smoove was advocating for Andre Allen and trying to make sure everything stayed on track, they were like the orchestration of madness here, right? All about a rollout, all about the wedding. She didn't give two fucks about him. And I think that kind of showed when she's like, oh, don't do this to me now. I'm finally famous. And it's like, I know he talked about her helping him get clean, but I always question, and of course you couldn't explore that in this movie. To what end? Was that to only serve her? Or how was that, you know?
Antwon, that's a good, man, I didn't want to get off on but we play this game. I didn't want to go off. I didn't want to derail the show. I really didn't. But, I mean, that's a good question. Because at first I was like, oh, she's just a gold digger. But I mean, like, with the more that he talked about her, the less I felt that was the case. And even that, right. and I especially felt completely like she vindicated herself when she told the absolute truth when she was talking on the phone. Like, that sounds like some stuff that you would only say to somebody who you really care about. And that sounds like some stuff that, and he received it like that too.
Or if she's painted in a corner. Think about it. When his movie, and they were talking about the movie, she didn't care about the movie. She's like, if it was doing great, she would have spoke about it. It was in the pitch, she made a little face, blow it off. You're gonna go to the strip club, you're gonna do this rollout as far as the bachelor party and all this other stuff. I just felt like her and her agent, and the way he kind of took the phone and he was like, here's what you're gonna do. And you're gonna do this. And if you don't do that, you're on your own. Like, what are you doing?
Look, yeah. I can't hate on that dude. You know why? Because he was doing his job. Okay?
Of course.
That's what he was supposed to do. Okay? That's why I'm not mad at it. It wasn't personal. This was all 100% business.
Yeah, that ring swapping thing was...
The ring thing was crazy. That was wild.
Now,
I forgot about that part.
Going along with it, but him, I understand his position. He's doing his job. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, she could say the same thing, though, Greg. She could say the same. She could say she's doing her job, so to speak, because she ain't got no talent. She ain't got no money.
The scamming was her talent, though. That was it. You know.
I understand their positions in life. I get what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
It's that, or they're gonna be working at Kenny's Shoes. Okay, they have nothing else going for them.
I mean, let's be honest ourselves, man. What do these vegans know about acting anyway? Okay, let's just go on. Let's just keep going. Let's keep moving. So we're at the last part of it now, man. Darian, you can go ahead and go first. What is your rating, 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest for this movie?
As far as the movie's concerned, I'll give it a 4 out of 5 for me. As much as I praise the movie, there is some imperfections to it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's definitely now that I've rewatched it and in light of even it being a couple years down the road, this movie holds up, and I think it will hold up going forward. So again, I give it a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it.
Fantastic. TJ, what is your what's your final movie score for this? Your final score.
All right. So I enjoyed the movie quite a bit, even more the second time. 3.5 doesn't seem like it is high enough for me, but 4 seems like it might be a little too much. So I'm going in the middle. I'm going 3.75.
3.75.
Yep.
Antwon, what is your grade for this movie's super bias? Sorry. Go ahead.
5 fingers say to the face, slap. That's
no
what it is.
Way.
5 out of 5 for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I just feel like it covers so many areas, and that's difficult to do for any film. And holding it to my personal context of not putting it in any box necessarily. It checked off comedy, personal stuff, humans doing human shit on a level that was just, it brought you inside of a world that people talk about, but people rarely see. So I just thought it was actually incredible and well done, well written. The dialogue the relationships. Listen, I don't know. It's great.
Hey, I'm not even mad at you. As a person who came in here with incredible bias against Chris Rock and as far as movies go.
That was well earned though, so I'm not mad at that either.
Yeah. And I think that he would be looking at me like uprise. Anyway, so he would be looking at me real solid. But man, I gotta tell you, this movie's good enough to make my DVD collection, which is basically my personal Hall of Fame. So I'm giving it a 4. You ain't watching that, kid? You should be watching that. You know what I mean? That's the HollyHood ranking that he got. You should be watching that. So 4 from me. Greg, you the closer. Close us out.
Yo, I'm gonna give it like a 4.3. Because it covered a whole lot of it pretty much covered everything. The only reason that I can't give it a whole 4.5 is because I didn't like the way it ended.
You mean like the fact that it ended open-handed, or the fact that you think it ended too sappy?
It ended too sappy. He should have took that shoe and threw it out the window.
I actually think. Let me ask you: do you think that he actually got married? Do you think he went to the wedding?
I don't think he did.
I think he did.
You think so?
I think so.
And this is why I gave it a 5. Look at that.
I think so.
Argue anything.
Over here like, yo, you see what I'm saying?
I think so, because of the career aspect of it.
Huh.
For him or for her?
Yes.
Yo, that was.
Well, when I said no, I'm going by what typical Hollywood stuff does is no. And like I said, if they were going to keep it all the way 100, you know what? Maybe he would just bust a U-turn and, smash out and then kept it moving. But like I said,
smashing out, he could still get married.
He should have looked at that shoe and then said something about that review and thrown that shoe out the window. That's the way the movie should have ended.
But again, like TJ was saying, as far as the wrapping around, this was another great example of that. Like when she was talking to him before, she had mentioned something where, well, first of all, the Cinderella theme was throughout the movie, but also the part that was really cool was when she said she did what every woman does that wants to see a guy again. She left something there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I thought that was like super cool. That when he looked through his stuff, it was like, oh, she wants to see him again, so she left something there. I was like, man, that goes right back to the beginning of what she was saying before. So I was just like, that was very cool. And it's Rosario Dawson.
Okay. So let me paint you a picture of what he's not looking at that I was looking at.
Oh gosh.
What he's looking at is going back, spending some time with her, and then picking up the newspaper and seeing her destroy his movie all over again. And then it's a wrap for that relationship again.
No. He liked her. The reason why he made out with her is because she finally gave him a real opinion about him.
Yeah, true. But that
yes. Right.
It's true.
Right.
But a little overly harsh. Like you said, his mother read that. Like
That's true.
Mama read that.
Yo, shout out to the limo driver too, keeping a straight face when JB Smooth's talking about honey on nuts and that being a whole other thing. He's like,
he was
trying. You see him trying to hold it together.
Go ahead, TJ. You've been trying to get in.
Honey on the nut, it changes up the game.
Go ahead, TJ. You've been trying to get in. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, based on the stuff that she had said about her past, and the fact that she knows that he's gonna be getting married, just because she left the shoe in the car saying she wants to see him again, she already knows his circumstance. So, I mean, it doesn't seem to me like she's asking him to necessarily change it, right? Not necessarily, based on her, past. But.
I'm not going to derail the show with what I want to say to that, but yeah.
Cool Adam Sandler, get her to sign a prenup. You got a prenup? No. He's like, no.
All right, yo.
It was inconclusive.
Since we did this movie,
I
want to go through it real quick. This is going to derail it a little bit.
You're derailing
everybody.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
Everybody, your hip hop top 5, go.
Off the top. Okay. Nas, Common, Rakim, Big L. Fifth one's always tough. I'll go Ghostface Killer.
Ooh.
I'm not prepared for this.
My 5 changes all the time. TJ, you got one?
I said I'm not prepared for this. I'm not prepared, man.
You want to give it?
I mean, I know Nas has got to be up in there somewhere, and I think he's one of the greatest MCs ever. I got to get the Roots in there. It's a personal thing. Tribe, I think, is in there somewhere because they're.
I put them with groups. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Are we doing? We're just doing hip hop, or we doing? I guess the Roots is a group too.
Yeah, like if I went groups, I'd say Tribe's my number 1. So
that's a tough one. That's nice.
Yeah, individuals.
People forget about them.
It's even tougher.
They're great, man. Tribe's.
I gotta put Rakim in there somewhere. He changed the game, so.
Yeah.
Twan, what you got?
Now, my top 5 like odds changes all the time, but I would say Jay, Nas, Kimberly Jones, Tribe Called Quest. He was here a short time, but I love Biggie. And then, yeah, that should be my top 5.
Where's Darian at?
Darian had to exit early because you derailed the show. Nobody knew until you had to call out top 5.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Yo, he said, "Oh, he's got his top 5." Hold on. Go, Greg. Well, and I'll read his. Go. You go ahead and go.
On no particular order, because that would turn into a whole thing. Nas, Black Thought, KRS-One, Rakim, and for the 5th element, I'm gonna have to go with
Mos Def.
That's a good pick.
No, it's a great suggestion, but just based on longevity and everything else, Jigga Man.
Wow, yeah, that's a good.
Oh, when you said longevity, I thought you were going LL for a second.
Lord, battle anybody. I don't. Okay, so reading Darian.
Sorry, longevity of staying hot.
Wow. So reading Darian's.
I was going to be at your door tonight.
It's Nas. It's Blue. 3000. I'm Andre 3000.
Andre, yeah.
Black Thought and Fonte. Tigolo, new Tigolo.
Fonte's on my list of most underrated MC of all times.
I could see.
And I know that because I just underrated him.
You know who I have as my most underrated MC of all time? AZ.
That's a good one too.
Very good one.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Sugar Hill, baby.
Sugar Hill, baby. And if you don't know, now you know. And if you don't know, there's always work at the post office. Peace.